In today's episode, we're talking with Yvey Valcin, Haitian-born master stylist, celebrity hairstylist, and hair humanitarian. With over 12 years of experience, he is the founder of Yvey Salon, located at Chop House Row, a hidden treasure in Seattle, Washington. Yvey's a man with a worldview who's recently been featured in a number of articles to include InStyle Magazine, Martha Stewart Magazine, Medium, Best Life Magazine, and many more. Let's talk with Yvey today so we can hear his incredible journey to becoming the hairstylist that he is today. All right. Welcome, my friend, my guy, Mr. World Known Yvey the Stylist. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad to have you. I'm excited for the people who are listening to hear your story. I'm trying to talk to people who are, of course, children of immigrants who are doing great things, who are doing things that are outside of the norm. And of course, I thought of you, one of the people who are doing just extraordinary things. And I feel like people need to know what you have going on and also share your story to how you got to where you are. So yeah, that's why you're here today.
Wow. Thank you. I just wanna acknowledge the fact that you've been doing something incredible in the community. For anyone like me, for you to create a platform where we can come on and share our stories, I think you deserve some love, energy, and all of that. So I acknowledge that.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm trying.
You're doing
I
well.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, I want to start by, acknowledging that you're a great stylist. You have an awesome salon, Yvey Salon on Chop House Row in Seattle. So tell people a little bit about that area. I mean, I've been there. I've been to Chop House Row, also the salon. It's amazing. The area is amazing. But help people understand the vibe of that area and the vibe of your salon.
All right. Like the Chop House Road, to me, it's like it's a hidden treasure. You know what I mean? So it's a place that it's like if you know, you know, but once you discover the place, you just want to hang out in that area. I just happen to be fortunate enough to find a space and this wonderful community to open my salon. I mean, I couldn't think of a better location than that. You know, I mean, you said you've been there and you see how vibrant it is. I mean, it's always jumping. There's always something going on. I think, when you look at the salon, it kind of matches my personality in a way. So, and the salon, as you know, it's a unisex salon, right? It's a very, it's people friendly, regardless where you come from. So we have the vibe for you. So, for me as a hairstylist, so I also work alongside with a men's grooming specialist, and also I have a color specialist and stuff. And that's kind of the idea behind the salon, where I want everyone who's working there, they comfortable, they know what they're doing, they're experts at what they're doing. Okay. And that's what the salon is about. Everyone there is a specialist, is well knowledgeable about what they giving to the community.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, I can see that you have this diversity in your salon so that whoever comes in, they'll get their hair needs met. Was that intentional?
I feel like, everybody deserve everyone deserves a smile, you know what I mean? And I think in the industry of beauty, you always look at a specific type of beauty. You know, a man like me, um, I feel like through my travels and exposures and stuff, you know, beauty lies in every single human being. You just have to pay attention. So for me, it was important to create a place that welcomes just people. You know what I mean? So it was a bit intentional because I used to work at a salon, at a high end salon, and I felt like it was gonna that salon catered towards a specific group, you know,
Mm-hmm.
a specific group of individuals and stuff. So, and for me, being in the industry, and my personality is that, you know, my personality is about it's about people, you know, it's about energy, and I can tell you again throughout my journey, I see beauty, I found beauty, and I'm still finding beauty in just about people, you know. So it was somewhat intentional.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I can feel that vibe for sure. Like when you're in there, that no matter who you are, you'll feel comfortable. You'll feel the energy of Evie Salon. So tell us about how you got to opening the salon, how you got that space and how that journey was.
Um, you know, I mean, when it comes down to business, it's you know, it's a long journey. But one thing I could remember, ever since I decided to go to beauty school, and I would say that this passion has been with me for a long, 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 long time. You know, I remember I was about like 5 years old, where, you know, you know, I was witnessing my sister, my older sister, doing hair in the community. So, and I could see how well she was received, you know, in the community. So as a little boy, and I was like, you know what? I would love to be here one day, you know. But of course, I mean, you know, the Haitian parents, you know, they know best. They said
Mhm.
they tend to choose um, what they want you to be in the
Yeah.
future. So I had to deal with that. But you know, it's interesting how, like, you know, so when passion is something that you that's been in you at an age that you couldn't probably even understand what that means. But
Mhm.
as I got older, and when I decided to go to beauty school, and I've realized that was me. That was where I belong. So now, for every artist, it's important to find a place where you can perform your art, you know, stress free. You know what I mean? Like, you can perform your art in a way that you feel. Um, and I thought it was important to find a space. So, um, you know, I don't want to dwell too much on the difficulties of finding a space. But all I'm trying to say, and if there's one thing I would say that people will take away from, is the fact that when the passion is sometimes that's what it takes, and you need to pay attention to what it is that you're passionate about. There is no such a thing as a dumb passion, you know, and I'm a perfect example of it. You know, I love what I do. I love doing hair. I'm a hairstylist. I walk like it. I live like it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I think it was that courage that helped me through the struggle to be able to open the salon, you know,
Yeah.
and you know, alongside of me, I would say that I had I had some great people. Whether they were just friends, you know, I could share my passion with, and that's one thing I have learned through that journey as well. When you have a passion, you got to make sure you share it. You know, you share it in a place that you feel safe, so that you can be heard. Um,
Mhm.
and I could tell you that I had some people in the environment that I was that heard me. I also had people that discouraged me as well. But the
Mm.
passion, that's what brings me to where I am today.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. Because didn't you open the salon during the pandemic?
you know, I always say to people that my story is not a simple one. But you know, I'm so grateful to be able to make it through. Yes, I did open the salon during the pandemic. I mean, and not only the pandemic, you remember in that area, not too far from it, there was the chop and chas, you know, and there was a lot of um, things going on at that time.
Yeah.
You know, a man like me, I didn't have many options. You know,
Hmm.
so I didn't understand the complexity of business,
Yeah.
but all I know, I took a chance, you
Yeah.
know, and then and it's interesting that sometimes you don't have to have the answers for everything, you know.
Hmm.
But I could tell you during the time where all this, you know, protest happening in Capitol Hill, and all
Yeah.
it was COVID. I mean, anyone who understands business will say, "Man, that's not a good idea." And I heard that too. But you know,
Mm.
I kept going.
Yeah.
And today, I'm celebrating. You know, I'm celebrating because I feel like the success. I'm not looking at it from a monetary standpoint. I'm looking at it being being standing still.
Hmm.
Okay, so it was a very interesting time, but to
Yeah.
be here. So I celebrate.
Yeah, I'm celebrating with you. That's amazing. Like you really pushed through a difficult time, like you said, with so much going on in the world. And you could have been discouraged by that. You could have, decided not to do anything and just sit still. COVID in that time paralyzed a lot of people, understandably, because it was a tough time. But you pushed through, and now you're here today with a successful salon. So yeah, how would you say business has changed for you since you started? Because I'm sure, like you said, you had this rough start, but what is it now? How many years later, and what's like going on with the salon now?
I mean, it's been about 2 years. Okay. So one thing I have learned about business, you know, business doesn't have a sense of humor. You know, I mean, I'm an island guy. Most of the time, I want to play. You know what I mean? I want to bring my essence out, but you know,
Yeah.
business doesn't know all that and doesn't respond to all that. So it's been 2 years, and where we at right now, again, just to still be standing, it's a big deal. You know,
Yeah.
right now I think I'm looking at bringing more people in. Now that I understand better the area, I understand a little bit better the business side of things, and I feel like we're being discovered, you know, elsewhere. Um, I mean, for me personally, and also I have to say that I'm working with a great team, talented, you know, artists. So for me personally, I've been involving in some trying to bring my story out there, and I would say I have a few articles coming out of some great magazines like In Style magazines, and was featured in Martha Stewart, like something like that. And I think I have a lot more things in the making, and I'm really excited. I'm really excited to see what's coming this year. I'm pretty hopeful.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. That's some exciting accomplishments. Like those are major magazines. So to be able to accomplish that in 2 years, that's great. And I'm very proud of you.
Thank you, my friend.
Yeah. So I know you mentioned that being a child of Haitian parents, at first, they had a career path for you that they probably had in mind. So what was it like for you when you like were showing them that you legitimately wanted to be a hairstylist?
You know, I was supposed to be a priest, if you know. I mean,
No, 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 no.
of course.
Hold on,
That's what,
hold on,
I mean,
hold on.
especially my mother, that's what she wanted, but
I can't even imagine that.
you want me to, you want me to pull out some of the tricks that I've learned? I mean, was
That just who you are right now fits you so well. I'll say that.
okay. Thank you. That's a compliment. I'll take it.
Yeah, yeah. So that's why I couldn't see you doing anything else.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, of course, like being like when you're talking to a Haitian parent, especially, I mean, being back home, it's like the idea of a hairstylist. It's not even a thing. Like you can't even picture the name. First of all, the name doesn't make enough of a sound for your parent to be that impressed by it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like because all you're seeing is just certain people in the community they randomly cutting hair. Like to
Yeah.
think about a salon, there's no such a thing. So therefore, it wasn't even a conversation I could bring. Right?
Yeah.
So, but I went on deep, deep inside me. That's what I was feeling. It was either fashion or music, some type of artsy thing, you know.
Hmm.
I just know that my parents, especially my mother, like she did not want me to go through anything, that has to do with art. Like what it's music. Like she's like, you're just gonna go and then do this. I don't want you to get involved in bad stuff. I mean, you know how it is.
Okay. Yeah,
And
yeah.
then I mean, really, I didn't had a way to really bring that conversation, you know, to my parents, because
Yeah.
it's like the idea of being a hairstylist or a hairdresser, it was so small. Like
Hmm.
I couldn't possibly convince them of that idea. It's not like, they wanted me to be a doctor and I said, no, I'm gonna be a lawyer. So you can we
Right.
can have that conversation right there. But
Exactly. Yeah. It's still
for
like good enough for them.
exactly, so I didn't have that much of an option. So I sort of, went on with that passion again deep inside and do other things and but every time I pass by a salon and I could feel, I'm like, this is me. That's okay.
Yeah.
So like I said again, it wasn't a conversation I could have.
Hmm.
Even myself, I didn't even understand what, like, if there was a different level to this,
Right.
you know?
Oh yeah. So you even for yourself didn't know what you were really getting into.
Exactly. So
Yeah, yeah. But that passion was just in you and
oh
you
yes,
just went for it.
definitely. It's still in me.
Yeah, yeah. I love that. I think that's important for people to know that, from what you were saying in the beginning, it's like if you have that passion, you just have to go for it.
Mhm.
Like people will doubt you. Sometimes your own family members will doubt you,
Of
but
course.
you know what's inside of you. So that's it. You just have to do it. You're like, yeah, you're the living example of that. Um, how do you feel like pursuing a career in hair is different from for you being a Haitian man, or do you feel like it's different?
I just feel like, to me, one thing I would hope one day, I would hope like like male, more males can go into that industry. Because I can tell you right now, it's like for me, I feel like I'm going to school at the best university. Okay.
Mm,
What I mean by that is the majority of people I'm working with, they women. And
right.
I can tell you right now, any man who's listening to this, my friends, there's a lot to learn, and as a Haitian man coming from a culture where like people get confused when you say you're a hairstylist, so they want to put a title on you for whatever reason. But for me, I would say that's one of the greatest fields like one can be, because like dealing with people. I mean, you know what I am talking about.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just when you're talking to people and you're being authentic, you're being your authentic self,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a different layer of conversations. You know what I mean? So and I'm so fortunate that to be in a position where I can spend that time around women in the sense that it's a genuine kind of interaction. And I think that being from the culture that I'm from, it is something that I needed. And I wouldn't get that if I had any type of job, and I wouldn't be able to get that because what I'm telling you right now, it's something specific. Because as a man, I want to be able to look at you, say, hey, you are very beautiful today, just as human to human. You see what I mean? And I
Yeah.
think we're living in a culture where it's like the interaction between two people, with the female energy with the male energy. It's always backed up by some nonsense. And
Mm-hmm.
and I'll tell you, like in the course of like a week, I spend five. I mean, I work 5 days a week, and that's what I do during the 5 days. And I can tell you, I love I love my clients. I love the women that I work with, and they did something for me that my mother. I mean, she left when I was at a certain age. Like something like someone who cares about you would provide. You know what I mean? And
Mm.
I feel like when they come in, they genuine. When they give me a hug, when we
Mm-hmm.
converse, it's genuine. And I think for any man, it's something that we need to learn. And from that point on, vulnerability comes. And you know how it is in my world for any man to let it out. You know what I mean? We all
Mm-hmm.
acting. So for me, it's a blessing to be in that industry, and I wouldn't change it for anything. I wouldn't change it. I went to college for something totally different. You know what I mean? But I never thought. I don't even think twice to even go or be curious about what I went to school for.
Well, what did you go to school for?
I went to school for environmental technologies and sustainable practices. So completely,
Oh, yeah.
you know, through my industry, I understand humility. I understand love in a different way. I understand like people, you know,
Hmm.
and it's an important place to be. Being able to bring a smile on faces that or help people discover their hidden beauties they never got to see. And
Yeah.
it's I don't know. I feel like my job is very special, and it's rewarding, and it's a very important job if you ask me. So
Yeah. Yeah, for
mm,
sure. Yeah. Wow, you said so many powerful things in that. Like the connection that you're having with people in general is so genuine, is so authentic in the experiences, but also on another layer, just you as a man serving mostly women, how you're able to connect with women on a different level, almost like, removing some of the stereotypes of how men should be, you're able to be, I guess, more in tune with women, more vulnerable, and make authentic relationships with women that um, you may have not done if you weren't in this industry. That's amazing.
Yes.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, that's interesting that this career has allowed that for you. And, you didn't have that before, but now you have another level of reaching people just because you're doing something you're passionate about.
Indeed. Indeed.
Yeah, yeah. That's I think that's a great like point and lesson in itself. It's like if you're doing something that you're passionate about, you're probably get more out of it than what you anticipate.
Yeah. And and also, I want people to know that I know my salon is in Seattle, but I'm that guy, man. I travel the world. You know what I mean? Like, and when I travel, the exposures and all of that, like and I found the same thing. I find the same thing in people. You know what I mean? Everybody's looking to be accepted in a way. Everybody's looking for an environment where they can be the 100%. So and I'm sitting here talking. I'm talking from a worldview because I've seen it in so many places. I've done hair in so many places,
Mhm.
and because I serve a very specific group of people, and it's like it's just beautiful. Like I was just in Istanbul, and then I have a client we met here in Seattle, and she moved back home, and then we haven't seen each other in so long. But when we met, the conversation we had was just our sessions were so real. Like it was comfortable to reach out to her, and she took time out of her busy life, and we met, we have lunch, just those kind of things. When I'm talking about the success, those are the kind of things I'm talking about. To be able to
Mhm.
to have to have access to so many parts of the world because
Right.
of what I do. That's it to me. That's my success. And I also like to say I try to be humble in my creativity, but also I'm very grateful for the success, for the people that I know, for the people that I serve.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. No, I love that. It's like you said, just it goes beyond what you're doing in your city. You're reaching more people with the like physical work that you're doing, but also just the genuine interactions. And I think that goes back to the environment that you create at the salon and who you are genuinely as a person. Like, just having Evie as your stylist is going to be different than having anybody else.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah. So I love that. I think that that says a lot in how you're explaining it right now. Um so how do you I think you said this already with your business. I was going to ask you, how do you see it growing? It sounds like you want to have more stylists come in and different types of people come into your salon.
Yes. I mean, like I said, it's been 2 years, and it was important for me to create a certain or to follow the vibe that I want to maintain with this salon.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was never really my focus to rush and trying to find people to fill up the salon because this space is not about filling it up. It's about having people that align with where we at, how we see the world. And I want you to know that this salon is built under three things: humility, authenticity, and integrity. So I don't have to. I mean, you know, you can sense where I'm going with that. But what I'm saying is, it's important to have those artists, to understand what we focusing on. So now I feel like we're ready to bring other people. So that's the next step. And also I want to be able to to bring what the salon is about a little bit more. You know what I mean? Because I feel like we having a lot of stuff we haven't brought it out there yet.
Okay.
So I'm planning on teaching some classes. Okay. And also being able to share some tips and hopefully can have a school that I want to teach people not just the technical side of it and some of the things I just talked to you about. Because when people look at their hair, they think about the technical side of it. But there's
Mm-hmm.
another layer that people need to understand, and I want to be able to teach that to new stylists and stuff, and so that they can experience exactly what I have been experiencing.
Okay. I love that. Yeah. Paying it forward by having more people experience what you experience and showing them that it goes beyond the look, but clearly the experience is important as well. So, I know, like you said, with the salon, there's ups and downs with business, there's ups and downs, and I totally understand that. So, what are the things that you do to manage your stress to make sure that you're taking care of your mental health?
Um, you know, stress comes with business. Okay, business comes with stress, right? But you know, the there are days where, as an artist, you don't want to deal with business. You know what I mean? But then there are days where you see what kind of impact you're creating in the community, and you realize this is why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So, and because of the passion, I always look at the passion as the lubricant that will smooth things out when it's kind of rough. You know what I mean? Um, and I think because I'm so focusing on the experiences I'm giving to my client and the energy that I'm receiving from my client. So a lot of time that helps me cultivate a way to deal with stress. So, and also taking care of myself in a way. I have right now, I feel like I have a good group of friends, people I can reach out to if I'm feeling a certain way. So, and I'm pretty open, like I don't hide what I'm going through, because I have a good group of friends that, again, I can reach out to. We can have a conversation, but again, business is business. So um, certain things you won't get control over, but you're passionate, the love, the
Yeah.
people. Sometimes I'm on my way to work, and I'm feeling a certain way. You know what I mean? I'm feeling a
Mm-hmm.
certain way. I'm like, man, But then I got to the salon, first client, great conversation. They come in, and all this thing, being pushed back. You know what I mean? So,
Mm.
so it's that. So with that, I always remember why I'm in the industry. Not for this. Business, again. Business gonna be business, but
Mm-hmm.
what's greater than business is the feeling, that great energy you get at the end of the day. Or
Yeah.
when you can go to when you can go to bed feeling like, oh wow, I I gave that person a smile today, and it was
Mm-hmm.
so.
Yeah.
That's enough to help me
Mm-hmm.
stress.
Yeah. Okay. Those are all great things, in my opinion. The therapist in me, the counselor in me always wants to make sure that
Oh
people are
yeah.
well, they're taking care of
Hey,
themselves. So it's good to hear that refuel with your clients, but also you have supportive people in your corner that is so needed. Because you can't just do this on your own. Some people think like, you can hustle and move and do business and all these things on your own. Like, no, there's parts of it where you might be on your own, but ultimately you need a support
yes,
system.
of course.
So,
And think about it, like in a day, like I have 10 different people, different haircuts, different stories, different like everything. But
yeah.
then you maintain a conversation for an hour with these people. So if
Hmm.
you look at being a hairstylist for all of that, so you won't wanna go to the industry. But all I'm telling you, the authenticity I talked about,
Yeah.
the humility that I talked about, and the integrity. I mean, my client, they know that I can deliver. You know.
Hmm.
Also, as two human beings, I have to be authentic with them, and through that, it's a great session. So
Yeah.
it just again, it's important to be real in what you do, so it will show through.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah. I think that is powerful. So my last question for you is what would you say, or what kind of advice would you give someone who's an immigrant or a second generation immigrant trying to go into the field of what you're doing? What would you say to them?
What I would say to them is, if they really passionate about it, they just go for it. Because the great thing about passion, you got to keep feeding it. Feeding it with positive things. Because by the end of the day, we were all created with some type of way to cope, to survive in this world. It's just that we're living in a world where some things are more pronounced than others. You know what I mean? So if your dream is to, I mean, if your passion is to be a bartender, for instance, but then you're living in a community where there are we're looking at the lawyers, the engineers, the scientists, and all of that. So you can devalue that because you want to fit in.
Mm-hmm.
But the little is just the fact. But that's yours. That's your passion and stuff. And I want to encourage people to keep that passion alive. By sharing it. By exposing it. By going to places where you can learn one thing or two. And for an immigrant, I would say use your essence. Okay, being an immigrant, in my opinion, is there's a winning formula there. It's an asset to yourself because you're living in a world where you're different, you speak differently, you move differently, and if you look at the rhythm of the world, what makes the world interesting is my rhythm, your rhythm, someone else's rhythm, and it doesn't matter what's going on in the world right now. This will only make sense because of the differences between people. You know what I mean? So as an immigrant, like for me, as a Haitian, come on, the Haitian gives me, being Haitian gives me everything. It gives me a
Yeah.
sense of style. It gives me a sense of belonging. It
Yeah.
gives me everything. So I wouldn't change being an immigrant to anything else. Like when I
Right.
talk, when I speak, the accent you hear, it's from somewhere else. You know what I mean? If you don't understand me, ask question. I just want to say my accent works perfect in the industry that I'm in.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So, and it works with me as well. So if you, the son or the daughter of an immigrant, one of the greatest things about America America welcomes anything and everything. So there is room for you. Whether you want to be a chef, you want to be a hairstylist, you want to be a scientist, if you're passionate about any of those, be that person.
Yeah.
That's my advice to them.
Beautiful, beautiful words. I felt it. Like I felt that, that was so authentic. And I think that's something that anyone can take from what you said and really, gain something from that. That those are true words. So thank you so much for sharing that for people to hear.
You're very welcome.
So I'm really glad that you came and joined me today. I want people to know where they can reach you. So what's your website? What's your Instagram? Where can people find you?
People can find me at, of course, at the salon, just Yvey Valcin Salon, just Yvey Salon. But my Instagram handle is Yvey the Stylist. That's YVEYTHESTYLIS. Yvey the Stylist. Or you can just go yvey.com. So we can connect. If you have any question, you can just Google and also stop by the salon. It's a beautiful chop house road. There are tons of restaurants and beautiful bars and a lot of things. I think you guys should stop by and see what this area is cooking because there's nothing like that in Seattle. No other
Yeah.
place, no other places like that in Seattle. It's just the Chop House Road, and that's where all the good vibes are. So come through and say hello. I'll be cutting hair, but you see me through the window, just wave.
All right. Well, y'all heard him. If you're in the Seattle area, stop by Chop House Row and say hello to Yvey so he can see you. Tell him that I sent you or you heard him on the podcast. And yeah, if you want to connect with him, you can on IG. I'll share all the stuff in the description. But thank you so, so much again, Yvey, for joining me in this interview. This was so great, so valuable. I'm so excited that the people get to hear your story.
Thank you, Jennifer. And I just want you to keep going, keep doing what you're doing. And it was a great session with you. And I wish you best of luck in everything you're doing. And I think more people should be able to share their story on your platform because you create an atmosphere that very very comfortable and easy to even a shy man like me could express myself. So you're doing a great job. Just please keep doing this. Appreciate it and thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.